Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 2, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 3-2. It is entitled Origins. So, at the beginning here, there's a little bit of scripting that has to play out over here. I would go pick up that ammunition if I were you, and then head on over to the door, and we're going to wait for it to open. This chapter is actually not that bad. I know I kind of gave this entire act a bad rap, and it does have some parts that I really detest. But this one was quite fun. I really enjoy the laser aspect of it. So when you come in here, you can kill the wretches in that room with the turret gun there. Just make sure you disarm the device there so that you can go in here and not get slaughtered. I like to switch the shotgun here for the hammer burst. You can switch out if you don't want the shotgun and if you don't want the hammer burst. There's also a scorcher in many places on this chapter. Don't forget to come over here though, because there's a pair of grenades. And when I finish this chapter, I believe I only have 2 grenades, but I actually did have to come back and redo this chapter because of a crash. It happens all the time, unfortunately. But it's mainly my fault because I leave the console on all the time. So when you come over here, you want to throw this switch over here. And I would say that this is probably the hardest part of the chapter. But don't get me wrong, it's not hard. It's just that the entire chapter is it's not that challenging as it is, but this part can kind of go a little wild because you've got wretches that can go through any of these doorways over here, and you could also get killed if you go near those lasers. And if you choose a bad spot, then you just screwed. But if you want to, you can do the SWAT turn through these. You can also roadie run through those, so you won't get killed if you do the roadie run through those or the SWAT turn. You've got to really be careful though, because it tears you apart very fast. But alternatively, when you throw the switch, it's instantaneous that those lasers go away. So even if you are about to get killed, as long as you throw the switch, you're going to be okay. So out here, there's 2 wretches over here. And then when you go up over to the right, up those stairs. I should mention why I choose the hammer burst, but there's some wretches that come out of there, a little jump scare. You can loosen them up, as it were, with a grenade or 2. But since you're dealing with wretches on this chapter, I would use the hammer burst just to be able to swipe at them. Of course, using the chainsaw is fun and things like that, but if you have the shotgun or the scorcher or the hammer burst, it's preferable, I would say, because while you're shooting the wretches, if any of them get too close to you, then you can just swipe at them. I don't know why in Ram's Shadow, that DLC, those wretches took 2 hits. I really don't know what the deal with that was. They took 2 hits unless you had the Retrolancer, I think, or the Torque Bow, because both of those have knives on them. But I think only the Torque Bow works. I don't think the Retrolancer works. So you'll see me roadie run through these, so you can roadie run through those. And then we're going to be coming over here now, and like I said, it's a fun chapter. I really enjoyed going through this chapter again. And when you get over here, when you approach the table, that's when the wretches are going to spawn over here. They only come through this doorway over here. Over to the right, there is a scorcher if you want to pick that up. Having the scorcher is perfectly fine, because we're mainly just using the melee attack, since they're so easy to kill with just one swipe. And the problem with the Lancer is that it's just too slow. It doesn't have a swipe, and when you use the chainsaw, you have to wait for the entire animation to play out, and you can get hit while you're doing it. So it's just not worth it. So circumvent that room in the way that I did it right there, and then there's a box of ammunition over here, and then we have another jump scare that's coming up over here. This game is pretty good for not doing, that kind of jump scare shit, throwing enemies at you, just popping out. It usually does not do that, but it does it here again. But it's quite easy because you're gonna have these wretches running through the lasers, and it's just a matter of firing down a narrow hall. So it's very, very manageable. You can shoot faster with the hammer burst if you instead of holding the trigger, if you click it fast, it does shoot a little bit faster. And that reminds me of the hammer burst on Judgment, where you have to press the trigger button every time to fire a button. And I thought it was the worst designed hammer burst ever in a game that's really good to begin with, but that I just thought that they ruined that hammer burst like that. Okay, so now we're gonna have a split path over here. Both of these paths are extremely easy. This is like elementary school type of shit. To the left, of course, we're gonna do both paths. The turret control over to the left, there's no threat of death. So if you want to get through this the quickest, and you don't want to fuss around with anything, all you have to do is this. A lobotomized person could figure this out. Don't worry about Dom here either. He cannot get killed. It is funny going through this chapter though, and properly going through the lasers, and then him being behind you and him getting fucked by the lasers and screaming. It's pretty funny, and you don't have to save him though. That's a good thing. So anyway, the second path here, it's entitled Laser Bait. So all I do here is just wait for him to do his countdown, and then he'll say go. You don't have to do this using the SWAT turn, but I find it to be the easiest way to do this and the safest. See the icons where it says A and then it has the drawings there? You can take those off if you want to. I'm not sure what the game calls them, tooltips or icons or something, but the reason I have those on is because if you do turn those off, then when you're passing over ammunition and guns and things, it won't have a prompt to pick it up, and sometimes you just can't see what's on the ground and you pass over things. So it is nice to have the X icon come up. I wish they differentiated those two though. Anyway, that's the end, and you have to do a long wait over here. It just wants you to peruse the laboratory over here, and then we'll just wait for Jack to open this. I didn't find any ammunition over here, and once you go up the stairs, all you have to do is just press a switch, but for some reason there's another wait. So it's like 20 seconds of a wait. So I just edited it out because it's ridiculous to have to actually see that in real time. Anyway, just throw the switch and finish it off, and then we will be moving on to 3-3. It's a much more intense and longer chapter, but it's a good one too. So I will see you there if you need to use that chapter for help. And until then, please take care.